You installed a new APU. Operate the APU for a functional test. You want to supply power from the battery to the airplane. Select the module that lets you do this function. Now, continue to supply DC power to the airplane. You can monitor battery voltage and amperage with the DC meter switch in the battery position. Before you start the APU, do a test of the APU fire protection system. Continue. Now do a test of the APU fire extinguisher system. Select the panels that let you do an APU start. Continue. You must select the panels that let you do an APU start. Since this is a lesson, the indications for a normal APU start will occur much faster than they will in an actual airplane. Start the APU. Supply generator power to both AC transfer buses. Continue. The APU and generator operation is good. Stop the APU with the APU switch. The APU continues to operate for 60 seconds after you set the switch to off. This cools the APU. The generator and bleed air will not operate at this time. Now start the APU with AC power from the transfer bus number 1. Use ground power to supply AC power to transfer bus number 1. Make sure the ground power available light is on. Supply the ground power to the 2 AC transfer buses. Start the APU. Stop the APU with APU fire handle switch. Select the panel with the fire handle. Release the lock and pull the APU fire handle up. Remember, with the handle up, a fire extinguisher can operate. There is no 60-second delay for APU cooldown when you use a fire handle switch to stop the APU. After the APU stops, set the APU switch to the off position. Stop the APU from the ground control panel. Select the area that gives you access to this panel. Select the ground control panel. Stop the APU with the red handle. You must set the handle back to the normal position after the APU stops. The APU cannot start unless the handle is in the normal position. Continue. All APU tests are complete. Set the APU switch to the off position. Now disconnect the AC ground power from the airplane. Remove all electrical power from the airplane. Continue. You have made sure that the APU and its generator operates correctly. The APU